And now we're just going full on Hitler, talking about vermin.
In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
Amid a rise in anti-Semitism across the United States, Donald Trump echoed the dangerous language of infamous fascist leaders.
The threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within.
I mean, it's really unbelievable what he says. And Carlos Lozada in the New York Times this weekend wrote, Trump is running as an overtly authoritarian candidate. The illusion of pivots of adults in the rooms of a man molded by the office long gone. He is dismissive of the law, except when he can harness it for his own benefit.
And that was the team on MSNBC's Morning Joe giving the reaction and talking about Donald Trump's latest threats. The Trump rhetoric echoing Adolf Hitler is unmistakable. As Midas Touch News writes, like Trump, Adolf Hitler infamously targeted the enemies within Germany, chiefly singling out communists and Jews. History.com recounts Hitler was appalled by Germany's defeat in World War I, which he blamed on enemies within, chiefly German communists and Jews, and was enraged by the punitive peace settlement forced on Germany by the victorious Allies. Regarding his strategy at the time, Hitler noted, "Our strategy is to destroy the enemy from within, to conquer him through himself." Hitler and the Nazis, like Trump, also compared the enemies within Germany to vermin.
To call your opponents vermin, to dehumanize them, is to not only open the door, but to walk through the door toward the most ghastly kinds of crimes.
The chairperson of the Republican National Committee was asked about Trump's rhetoric and sidestepped it.
Are you comfortable with this language coming from the GOP frontrunner?
Again, I am not going to comment on candidates and their campaign messaging. I will say this. I know President Trump supports the veterans. Our whole party supports our veterans. And I do think we're at a very serious moment in our country.
Deflecting to the issue of veterans and getting away from Trump's rhetoric is not exactly a profile in courage. And in fact, one of the lessons from history is that when leaders and ordinary citizens stay silent, some of the worst impulses of fascism and totalitarianism start taking root. Making matters even more troubling, the Trump speech was no accident. By all accounts, Donald Trump read from a teleprompter. In other words, these were prepared remarks written and delivered deliberately. And to underscore what Trump is intending if he wins another presidential term, the New York Times recently reported sweeping raids, giant camps, and mass deportations inside Trump's 2025 immigration plans. If he regains power, Donald Trump wants not only to revive some of the immigration policies criticized as draconian during his presidency, but expand and toughen them. Donald Trump Jr. retweeted the story and wrote, "They say it like it's a bad thing." Now, to be clear, rounding up undocumented immigrants and then placing them in giant detention camps is different from the Nazi-era concentration camps, whose purpose was to literally exterminate people. However, the language and hate coming from the Donald Trump MAGA world towards immigrants is, to say the least, unnerving. So what do we do about it? Well, as the crew for Morning Joe noted, all of us need to have some tough conversations with our Republican friends. This election cannot be about Joe Biden's age or about the negative feelings many Americans may have about Vice President Kamala Harris. The Republican 2024 presidential frontrunner Donald Trump is literally putting the rule of law, human rights, and American democracy on the chopping block. Sadly, there are now polls showing that a sizable portion of Republicans would have no problem ditching democracy if it meant Donald Trump could get his way. The University of Virginia Center for Politics found that 31% of Trump voters say democracy is no longer a viable system of governance in the United States. Remarkable and frightening. Even more so, when you talk with Trump supporters, as we did recently in New Hampshire, many MAGA folks say they would rather die than live in an America where Donald Trump does not return to the White House. Watch. If Donald Trump does not win, what do you do?
I hope that I'm going to die.
You want to die if Donald Trump doesn't win?
I do. I don't want to live like this anymore. You like our country the way it is now?
You know, not only is he for America, but he can save the world, not just America.
What will you do if Donald Trump loses in 2024?
Time to pack up and move to the mountains.
Which mountains would you go to?
New Hampshire.
What is it about the illegals that's so problematic?
They come in not wanting the American dream. Like years ago, the illegals came in for the American dream. They came here to work and make a better life for them and their family.
But I thought that's what they're crossing now. They all say, we're escaping violence in Ecuador and Honduras and all these sort of places.
To me, they're coming in to ruin this country. We're going to get attacked in the middle of this country because of some of the illegals that we can't vent are coming in, and that's their way in to get us. That's my feeling.
So you think some of the illegals are here to destroy us?
Yes, absolutely.
And how will they do that?
Well, like Hamas is doing, just random acts of violence, random killings. They're not listening to our laws. They just do whatever they want. So that's going to poison this country.
What is the problem with illegal immigrants?
Just the fact of if you look at the majority of the people coming in, it's all men of military age. It's not people who, who are being chased out of their country like they keep trying to tell us.
So you don't think it's the families and the children trying to escape and get a better future?
Just watch your news stations and you see all the people. I don't see women. I don't see children. I see guys of fighting age. That's a problem.
Adding to all of this fear of immigrants and the wild and unfounded claims that everybody crossing the border is a man of fighting age, there is Donald Trump's unhinged rhetoric. And remember, Trump has a long history of endorsing violence.
I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will.
Maybe he should have been roughed up because it was absolutely disgusting what he was doing.
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. Try not to hurt him. If you do, I'll defend you in court. Don't worry about it.
Granted, most of those clips are a few years old, but remember, Donald Trump's embrace of violence helped propel his rise to begin with. And he is the one who is now choosing to echo the worst fascists in modern history. So let's be clear. It's not just democracy that may be on the line in 2024. Humanity is in the crosshairs as well. By the way, Trump MAGA supporter Matt Gaetz in the U.S. House recently made a snide comment at a hearing and had it thrown back in his face.
Is criticism against George Soros ever not anti-Semitic? That's the question.
What has happened in the United States is that we use different code words.
Right, no, I'm not, that's not the question.
No, wait, I'm answering your question. Okay. We use different code words to disguise anti-Semitism. And so Soros has become the code word that replaced Rothschild.
But is it possible to criticize him without being anti-Semitic? Yes or no?
I don't know the context. I'm not going to talk without knowing
no
context.
That is just an astonishing thing. And similarly, you said any critique of globalism is anti-Semitic. Now that really is an Austin Powers.
No, what I said was that the word globalist, I didn't say any critique of globalism. Okay. What I said was the word globalist had become the new code word
but it's not,
for the internationalist code word from the previous period.
Check out that video at the link below. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.